Продолжаем. Можно зайти.
Yeah, you better keep walking.
Так, ну ладно.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building.
У нас в руках монтер для чего ли что
The
настал.
door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response.
Для грозного вида.
The door rattles again, but this time you hear an elderly woman's voice calling out from inside.
Stop banging on the door.
Она там с
I'm not
ружьем?
letting any more
Да.
strangers inside. The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No, I already told you. I won't be responsible for any more strangers getting into the building. Go check the backyard door. Maybe someone there will.
Backyard door. There must be another entrance to the east.
А давай,
Не
да.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply. Just faint sweeping sound.
Блин, старая. Ай, хер с ним.
Может быть, такой поход будет красить на лодке. Да, прикольно.
A striking woman
Ой,
leans
думала, это
against the
мужчина.
cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you
Сказать, что не
approach.
хипстер.
Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce.
Это как интересно.
Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. I'm glad to see you here. I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, Madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
Какой тактичный.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even. The lieutenant is hatching some scheme.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group.
Давай просто по очереди.
Не.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
С расизмом у них тут все в порядке. С расизмом у них тут все в порядке.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organisation now.
Okay.
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago.
Ого.
Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
Это же их работа.
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
Да, может, и случилось с предыдущим переговорщиком.
Какое?
Первое.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it?
Сейчас что-нибудь.
Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Круто. Прикольно.
Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Мгм.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each
What?
of the 2,200 workers in its Martinez terminal.
Прикинь,
Just so
какая
you
жесть.
understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
Это вообще жуть бюрократическая. У нас на работе, например, сейчас изменяется форма трудового договора, и мне надо будет заслать всем действующим сотрудникам доп. Соглашение
И подписать это
Да.
со всеми.
о том, что подписываем в новой редакции. О, а тут 2200 рабочих надо подписать на каждое решение. Жесть. Бюрократия просто... Муа. Конечно, смешно. Давай первое.
They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a more practical solution. I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over again. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of Jamrock, come to plead for work where the union refuses to? If they were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not right now, at least.
It's implied. She's open to discussing this matter with you at a later occasion.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother. except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
Короче, очень приятно говорящий.
The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
Хубло.
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is...
Давай пока четвертый вариант.
Of course, officer. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help?
О, давай про Samsung.
Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course.
Блин.
We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
Надеюсь.
How curious. Why is that, detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
Ночь обильных возлияний. Второй вариант смешной.
Даже не знаю.
Давай второй.
Давай.
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I don't even know how to respond. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a condition.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Ай-яй.
Я тоже.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Средние шансы. Why not? Если это что-то вроде 50 на 50.
Не знаю. А если проиграем и отношения как-то испортятся?
Но у нас будет вариант прийти с удовлетворением.
Ну, давай.
Мгм.
Feelings will guide the way.
Как это позорно такое.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible.
wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer,
Ой,
А я же говорила.
давай первый вариант.
you know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just guilt.
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something tangible. The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Мгм.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchmen. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation. Maybe this is all her plan. She might have heard about you.
Вполне возможно. У нас больше послушный список. В любом случае, вопрос с наркотиками надо решать. А потом уже дети бесятся. Да, давай первое.
I'm sure you will, Detective.
И четвертое.
Oh, that would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
The situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months. I wouldn't go that far. Her reaction did come off as sincere to me. I think she's just quick to adapt. She's a professional, after all.
Давай.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Пятый вариант хороший. Ну да, давай.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Есть там у нас один дальнобойщик.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Из Самары.
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers well beyond our grasp. Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment. I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Uncovering Union secrets could also give you an upper hand when dealing with them.
Угу. О, да, кстати, 24.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Давай примем.
Yes? Excellent.
Взяли
According
квест.
to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully one of them will know something. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I suspect the traffic jam won't disperse for a few more days. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Давай денег
Of course,
попросим.
Detective. Take care.
Не, дальше больше позволится.
А что мешает?
Честь.
Давай похилимся. Давай на всякий случай до троечки.
Ну, давай.
Время час дня. Светло. Так, шпана.
Дальше, кстати.
There must be another way into the building.
Что происходит?
Вот эта вот арка.
Давайте будем пройти. Так. Тебе зачем лом или что-то в руках? Да.
Да, уж самый малость опасный способ.
Так,
Давай позвоним насчет удостоверения.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
О, второй вариант.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Ё-моё.
Give it a minute. She might be busy at the moment. Takes a bit to get to the phone.
Алиса, ответь.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you. Yes, hello?
Здравствуйте, полиция.
Oh, right. Hello, officer. What can I do for you?
You can hear resentment in her tone. She's not thrilled to be talking to you again.
You mean, why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
Что-то подсказывает.
Why not?
Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone. What? No, why would you even think that?
Не бойтесь этой
Please,
скотины.
don't bring Gar into this. It's none of your business.
В смысле, none of your business?
I already said I don't want to talk about this. You're messing everything up again.
Давай узнаем, правда, удостоверение.
No, not me.
Второй.
No, sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires.
А,
People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
So the Union has a phone, and there's one further down the coast. Got it.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
What? Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the corpse. No one calls the police. The Union would get angry. You know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Garbage.
Я здесь власть.
я парк постучусь. Давай не будем давить. Да, второй, наверное. Да, не будем давить.
I don't know what to tell you, officer. I didn't call you because I didn't want to get in trouble with the others. With the
Конечно,
Union.
понятно.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, go on.
Удостоверение узнаем.
Ну, конечно,
Why not? Давай.
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it.
Ага.
I am sorry about that. Anything else, detective?
Давай, просто
ну
удостоверение.
ладно.
Yes, I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law.
This exact conversation has happened before. Establishing authority before this young girl seems to have been important to you in the past. Don't go there again.
Давай, второй. Она немного не так вопрос поняла.
М?
Да, она просто не так вопрос поняла. Давай, второе.
Oh, no, I haven't, sorry.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours?
Ну да, оставим. Мгм.
Ну,
Пофиг.
Right. It's better to not ask too many questions, lest people start thinking you're a cop or something.
Ну, про пистолет мы знаем, где уже.
I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Да, пофиг. Я займ.
No,
да что ж
she
такое?
doesn't have a problem with you. It must be someone else she's angry about. Some other guy. Like Gart.
Нет.
You know women and their constant
Это же внутри
problems.
головы.
Yak, yak, nag, nag. How's one supposed to get the love going like that. That's where you step in. You're Lieutenant Love, matchmaker extraordinaire.
Боже мой.
Help the poor girl out, lest she turns into a spinster. What misogyny? I'm just telling things the way they are. Can't a man be honest in his own head anymore? You have to act, Lieutenant Love. You have to calm that hysteric down. Tell it you've got everything. Think you can do that, Lieutenant Love?
Папуля возьмет тебя на коленочки.
You're just a gimp. What? You want to be more empathetic?
Call was terminated by the other party. Anything else, officer?
Где ходится?
Right. Please hold.
10-4, come in. Fireworker, over.
А давай деньги попросим.
Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question, over.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
10-4, sir. I'm not hearing your question.
Давай, кстати, да.
What? What is it? He's still on the line?
He wants to verify the information on his badge.
But of course, it says Dick Mullen, High General of the Revacholian Cavalry Force.
Tell him to stop wasting time.
What do you need, sir? Over.
Ну ладно.
Understood, sir. Over.
Ну и про денежки давай.
Roger that.
Да, у нас-
10, over and out.
Почему нет?
Да,